Fighting a guy like Martin, I remember my first UFC event, I had a photo where I was standing with him and there was his fight. I was 16 years old, the first event, UFC 10, that I was watching. I mean, that was just so cool to see how far I've come in my career, to fight for the belt against a guy, a legend like Martin. At UFC 50, that was my first welterweight title shot against Martin van Staden. It was the 50th event of the UFC, so obviously your 50th event is going to be a massive one. I did headline the 40th event and to headline the 50th event against Martin van Staden. He's a legend in the sport of African MMA. He was at that stage once again the most capped fighter in the UFC. So that's my second time I've faced the guy with the most fights in the organization. Fighting a guy like Martin, I remember my first UFC event, I had a photo where I was standing with him and there was his fight. I was 16 years old, the first event, UFC 10, that I was watching. So I mean, that was just so cool to see how far I've come in my career, to fight for the belt against a guy, a legend like Martin. And we went out there, that fight, it was very interesting because I remember Soulja Boy wasn't part of their team anymore. He was in the UFC at that stage and he had left FFM, he wasn't part of the team anymore. But him and Martin, I know they were good friends, and when he walked out that night, he had Soulja Boy in his corner, and I knew something was up. I didn't really know what to make of it, but I knew something was weird. And when the fight started, obviously Martin being a big puncher, he's not a great grappler, wrestler, but he's a hard puncher. And the first shot of the fight, Martin came in running forward, and he shot for a takedown. I was so surprised by that. That really surprised me. I was like, Martin shooting a takedown for me. I'm the wrestler, grappler guy. I've had so many victories like that. I wouldn't think that. So obviously that's how Soulja Boy beat me. He just wrestled me down and he beat me on the ground. So I guess that was a part of their game plan, and I think they thought, let's throw him off his game a little, because we had this whole game plan in our head. He's gonna stand up, I'll get him to the floor. Like, stand up was part of our game, but eventually if things didn't go our way, to get him to the floor, and that's how my teammates beat him before. So just out wrestling. And I think that was a big part of their game, to try and to throw me off my game plan. So he was getting a lot more tired. I could see in the second round he was a lot more tired than I was. He was a lot more tired because I'm physically stronger, and the wrestling, grappling exchanges, that's where I flourished. So he was doing a lot of things to throw me off my game that actually negatively affected him. He was tired after that first round. I could see he was breathing heavy. And the second round came and we had a nice stand-up fight. I took him down eventually. He caught me with a punch. He didn't land a clean punch. He actually landed on my gloves. That caught me off balance a little. And he would like to think that he had me in trouble, and I think everybody was like, oh, that was a big punch, but he never had me. He hit me in my arms, and he got over-eager, and I got that takedown. And that was basically, that second round was probably the most dominant round for that fight. I was just raining elbows. I was landing a lot of punches from the top, and ended up the round on top, definitely my round. Coming out in the third round, I could see he was really struggling. Like, he was tired. He couldn't deal with my strength, and so up until then I was pacing myself to a certain extent. Obviously you're fighting as good as you should, but pacing myself with power and what I'm willing to do. In that third round we just went for the finish, and I had him in the Darce choke, and I honestly thought, oh, this choke's on, it's on. I thought I had him, and it was very slippery. We were both very sweaty, and next thing I know, my corner was yelling at me, don't overcommit on the choke, don't gas your arms. And I was like, I think I have it, I'm pretty sure I have it. And next moment, while I was still thinking if I have it, he slipped out of it completely, and I was in the bottom, and there he goes for the exact same choke, and he had it on immediately. I was like, oh shit. I knew he had it on. I was like, okay. I just stay calm, and I was pretty tired at that stage as well, because it was a high-paced fight. And I could feel where the choke was happening. I could feel it on my head. And I was like, if you make one wrong move here, this is it. He's gonna have you. He's gonna choke you out. And all the thoughts running through my head immediately. I was like, okay, you are in this choke now. One wrong move, he's gonna get you. One wrong move, if you go to your back now, he's gonna choke you. You have to stay on top. And I could feel and I could hear his corner screaming the instructions to him. That is exactly what I did not want from him. And I'm just trying to defend, and I'm just thinking, at the same time thinking, is this going to happen to me again? I'm getting choked out of my title shot again. And just those quick thoughts, and I could feel the choke not. It was very tight, and then it slipped a little. I could feel it slip a little, and I could feel he was really breathing heavy. And as I slipped out of that choke, I just knew if I hold on just for a few seconds, he's gonna gas out his arms because he's tired, and I knew he couldn't hold it on for too long. And I toughed it out, and as I got out of that choke, he just let go. His arms just too tight. I could see, like, as he fell back, I could see he had nothing left in the tank, and I just started teeing off with punches. Martin has never been KO or TKO'd, so that would have been great. I was just teeing off, getting ready for that TKO because the ref was warning him, protect yourself, and I was like, just keep on hitting. And he pushed up to get it, not to get the TKO, and as he pushed up, his head went right under my arm, and we dropped that choke quite a few times in that camp. And when I had it, I knew I had it. I knew when I had the choke, it was on for about 10 seconds, I would say, maybe 7 seconds. But from the first grip, I knew I had the choke. I knew the fight was over. And that was probably one of the craziest, the happiest moments of my life. I immediately cried when I won that fight. I thought I'd have the bout a lot sooner. And then I got humbled by the magnitude of the sport, that how good people really are in the sport, and how many people I thought I was working hard, and then you see people that really do work hard. And that was my second shot, and the different fight that I was in the first time that I fought for the belt versus the second time was completely. I almost had double the training times in a week, and I just really realized what it takes to be a champion, and to finally realize that dream was one of the biggest moments. My whole family was there, everybody was there. It was being the youngest champion at that stage in the UFC and the organization. It was just, everything was perfect that night. My brother won his debut that night, his first professional fight. So everything, it couldn't have been more perfect. It was really one of those nights that couldn't have gone any better. And yeah, it was such an honor to fight against Martin. I wouldn't have wanted to win that bout against anybody else. It was the bad blood, leading up to the fight, the kind of guy that he is, at forward coming. He's really a badass dude when it comes to the cage, and to beat a guy like that really put my name up there as, it was great. Fighting a childhood hero once again, and being a champion was great.